Anyways, we can get started with your question.
Okay.
And
I tried to do the legit business account prior
Mhm,
with my Navy Federal account.
mhm,
I had to keep a certain amount in there,
mhm.
and they were charging me. It was a fee, so I was like, I'm not guaranteed this money yet because I had literally had just started with the wedding side.
Mhm,
So I just made a separate account.
mhm.
I was just putting my money in there,
Yeah.
but I didn't know if it was advantages as far as if there were any advantages of using a legit account versus just having a separate one.
Yeah, so technically I can't and really talk about this too much in the sense of this would be like CPA and lawyer grounds. And but I would imagine that the advantage is that if you're ever when you open a bank account with your LLC, then it's that money is run through your LLC. If it's run through you personally, people can sue you for it and you're not protected. But if it's run through your LLC, which is a limited liability company, then there's more protection.
You'll be able to take from that if there's anything in there.
Yeah. So when your limited liability company gets sued, like this is like worst case scenario, but it's when you're in business and you're going to be making, money. You want to make sure you're protecting yourself and your family. Um, and yeah, it's different. It would be separated out from your business should be separated out from personal. And if you open the account in a personal way, then it kind of leaves you open for vulnerabilities. Um, Personally, we have our bank accounts. I know it's kind of annoying to have a different bank account, but these days, technology, you can get online and move money around between banks and stuff like that. But we love Chase. I don't know if you have one there.
No, there's no Chase
No
here.
Chase Bank. Ah, that's a bummer.
I mean, it
'Cause-
might be a good thing because I won't be able to I'll have to go or call somebody to take
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. I just know that we pay $12 a month. I don't think we have a minimum.
Okay.
Or if there is a minimum, I'm trying to remember. It's either a minimum or maybe it's $12 a month if we don't have that in there. So it's not that big of a deal. It's like not that big of a fee, if you will.
Okay.
Um, it might be that. It might be we have a minimum. What was the fee for the Navy credit?
I felt like it was probably about that, but you had to keep like $500 in the
Okay.
account
Yeah.
part.
Or it was like 12 or it was the fee or you had to do both.
You had to do both.
Both. Okay. Well,
So I was talking to with my husband. I was like, I don't
yeah.
I had just got the EIN and everything, and I was like, I don't know if I'm even like make this because when I launched the website, I had inquiries, and then
Yeah. Yeah, no, that makes sense. So
so
at some point you want to get a business bank account. So
yeah,
yeah.
okay. I mean, I'll revisit, and then I'll do a little bit more research for different companies.
Yeah, different options, different banks. Yeah.
Um, so I emailed your girl, your CPA. So I'm just waiting to hear back from her. But I did call somebody locally, um, regarding if I should do an umbrella LLC
Mhm.
for photography or do it as the boudoir side. And
Mhm.
so the lady I spoke with today, um, I probably should have called somebody more than one person because this was just one experience.
Mhm.
She said she said it just depends on how much money I would be making and if it would um if I would need to separate the two
Mhm.
versus if I made way more on the wedding side or way more on the boudoir side, yada yada yada. And then she also said that she couldn't give me an answer off a phone call. Like I would have to come in and it's the first 30 minutes is free and then the next hour and after that is 120. But it's tax season, so she said to call her back after April 15th.
Yeah.
I was like,
I
okay.
think actually Tiffany mentioned that to me personally because we were talking about me doing this and then I have my photography side and she goes, well, have you separated the two? And I'm like, well, no. And I'm like, I'm just running it all under Law Marie Portraiture because it's
Yeah.
kind of the same. And she's like, well, you're probably going to want to eventually separate the two. And I'm like, okay. And she did say something, it's usually when you're making a good amount of money. And I'm like, well, what's a good amount of money?
Yeah.
She's like, well, enough that you could quit the other thing that you're doing. And I'm like, okay, well, already there. So maybe have to look into that. So I think that's similar information that Tiffany had said. So, as well. So it sounds like they're kind of
In the same boat.
boat, yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll just do 2 separate ones.
Well, I mean, it just depends. Like if you're gonna make 50 from one and 50 from the other and do it half and half, I don't know. You really just need to get down.
I feel like gut feeling is telling me that I would probably be more profitable on the boudoir side because it's less time, number one, with the theoretically it's less time. Like I won't
Theoretically.
8 hours with somebody plus the other hours I have to plan and engagement sessions and everything.
Yeah.
And I would be able to do more per month.
Yeah.
So I might just maybe just keep the wedding separate and keep it as it is, and then just completely just follow to the T how you have it in the boot camp.
Yeah.
And just new business.
I would for sure talk to a CPA and for sure talk to your lawyer just to make sure, because you don't want to like make it more complicated for yourself just because, you know what I mean? You want an answer so you can move forward, and it's okay. You can go ahead and move forward and just like get that answer. Here's my concern. My concern is you just go like, okay, I'll just do this based on like the little bit of information that you have. And then it comes around to tax season and it's not set up like in the best way for, you know, taxes, or it makes it more complicated. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
For you or for whoever's doing the taxes and like all that. It might not be necessary yet. And it may be that as long as you have an LLC now, you're fine until the point where one's making more than the other. Does that make sense? Do you have an LLC already?
LLC right now is so
okay. You don't. Okay.
And then I won't be able because I had my business license in Manassas, and then we moved last year to this area. So I would have to. I just called the city that I live in now, see what I need to do to get the business license for here, and she told me if it's an LLC, then I need to file that with the state corporation, then come in there and get the zone permit and then the business license. So I'm kind of standstill because
okay, so you're a standstill because you need that. Did you have something baby you were gonna say? So Damon's sitting here. He's like, he wanted to say something, and I was gonna say I can't really technically say that, but she said she did talk to a lawyer. She sent an email to Tiffany, but the lawyer she talked to for a second told her that depending on how much money she was going to make, she may need to separate the two, boudoir and weddings. And Tiffany told me the same thing the other day, but.
Okay, so this is recorded. Okay, so this is my disclaimer. I am not a CPA and I'm not an attorney. So consult the necessary, consult them. But the reason why all of the attorneys are telling everybody that you need 2 LLCs is that LLC is basically to offset risk. So a limited liability company is what LLC stands for. So when each entity has its own liability, and the liability, assuming that you don't commingle funds, the liability only is applied to that LLC. So hypothetical example, again, remembering that I'm not an attorney, is that the wedding LLC and the boudoir LLC, let's say that you nightmare upon nightmare, right? Like went to a wedding and you had some cords and somebody tripped over a cord, stubbed their toe on a desk, fell and broke their arm, right? If they decided to sue you, they could only come after the money that would be in the wedding LLC. The wedding LLC. That's the only thing that they could attack, right? They couldn't attack your boudoir business. They couldn't attack you personally.
So that's where the personal bank account comes in.
They could only attack the wedding LLC. Flip side, boudoir, right? Let's say pictures got out on the internet, they get pissed off and they file a suit, right? So the only thing that they can attack is they can only attack that boudoir LLC.
Okay.
So if you have, and that's why these attorneys keep saying, well, it depends on how much money you make, right? Because if you're making 25 and 25, then you're making 50. So it's when the money goes up. Now, a really frustrating thing that they're not telling you guys is if you have an LLC and you get insurance, you have an LLC and you get insurance, now the insurance kind of, that's what they're really going to go after, is the insurance aspect of the business. So it really depends on how much money you're making in proportion to how much it costs. What state are you in?
Virginia.
Okay, so you guys have state income tax and you pay federal income tax. Okay, so what it is that you, sorry, I'm trying to
Not say it, but say it.
so it depends on how much your costs are for LLCs there. So in Nevada, we pay a lot more for LLCs in Nevada, but we pay a lot more for the LLCs here
And the
because
business licenses.
we don't have any state income tax.
Oh, okay.
So in Oklahoma, where we're from originally, it's like $25 a year to keep your LLC in good standing. So you make the LLC one time. I think it used to be like $423 or something like that, and then every year after that, it's $25.
Here, I think it's 150 or something.
No, it's more than that. It's like $400+ because you have to have your state license.
Oh no, yeah, with your LLC, yeah.
With
So
your
I think
LLC.
total I pay $600 a year.
Yeah.
License and LLC.
Yeah,
all
but we pay no state income tax. So
right. Well, I was trying to think just LLC because that's Tiffany. She's actually a past client, but also the lawyer. She was saying that, and I'm like, okay, well, cool. I'm going to have you on and talk, but what's the advantage to everybody that's everywhere? And she can actually form your LLC for you in Nevada. And
Okay.
so then you wouldn't have to pay state income tax for that LLC because we don't have state income tax.
And more than likely with you being in Virginia and there's a state up there that has no state income tax that you would be closer to.
Is it New Hampshire?
I can't remember right now. For some reason it's slipping my mind. But yeah, it might be New Hampshire. Anyway, so that not filing in your state or filing in your state, that's 100%. I mean, I could go into that too, but really overstepping. That's a CPA question for sure, because you can do some fun stuff to on the tax side. But I would, if your LLC is not going to be drastic, then you could get 2 LLCs.
If it's not going to be super expensive.
If it's not going to be super expensive.
It's the fee was like $100 to file, and then I just asked a friend who has one how much it is to renew, and she, they couldn't tell, they didn't know.
Yeah. So that's going to be your biggest thing is like how much is it ultimately going to be per year. Ours, we go from $600 per year for a second LLC to $1,200 per year, and then if you have a third LLC, because we have a lot of LLCs.
Well, that's also because we're getting our business licenses here. She wouldn't have to have a business license in Nevada, correct? Or she would?
She would.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because she's not doing business in Nevada, she still has to have a
She still
business
have to
license
have a-
because the LLC.
Because the LLCs are.
Okay. So gotcha. So yeah, you would have to compare whether $600 a year and no income tax is better, or how much state.
But that's the thing, is it's not no income tax. It's
state. I think.
Yeah,
State.
it's not no state income tax.
Oh, I thought you just said it was.
Only if you structure it correctly, which you should use a CPA for.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah. So
this is where it gets complicated in the sense of needing professional advice that most people don't get. And
it really sucks because we that's why I'm like disclaimer is because there's liability for us to share with you guys so that you guys can ask the right questions.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, the power is in knowing the questions to ask of your CPA and your attorney.
Yeah.
And yet that information
is not
in and of itself is a liability for people that want to share that aren't a CPA or are not an attorney. So it's very frustrating.
Yeah, because everybody's like, well, how do I find a good one? And I'm like, well, you have to ask the right questions. Well, I don't know what the right questions are. And I'm like, well, yeah.
I guess it's not like a straight, it's not there's a
It's not
great.
black and white. Yes, it's not black and white.
Yeah.
There's gray area there.
A lot of gray area. Yeah.
sure.
So,
I don't know. I'm gonna call around again today, to see, and then I'll just wait for Tiffany to email me back too to see.
Yeah. When did you email her?
I emailed her this morning when I was
Okay.
going through everything, and I was just on the expense checklist.
Okay.
she's probably not going to be in the office till later on.
I know it's like super early there.
Yeah, it's like 7:20. So good. I was just thinking if you had emailed her like,
In the morning.
huh?
I said y'all look good at 7:20 in the morning.
Oh, we rolled out of bed about like 40 minutes ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like I was like 4 o'clock.
So
Yeah, I mean, right now, and you can always form another LLC later and then split it, and it's not going to be a huge issue for your CPA as long as you're keeping stuff separated. And you also asked in the group about a business bank account.
Yeah.
Get a business bank account. It's like, Chase is like $12 a month.
well, she don't have Chase, but she's gonna
Okay.
check it. She was just worried about just
Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo has really nice business bank accounts. Wells Fargo's in Virginia.
she's a Navy credit or whatever. She said they were requiring her to keep 500 minimum plus paying a monthly fee.
Yeah, I would talk to Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo is really, really, really business friendly, and their customer service has been, from the few people I talked to about, has been really, really good.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was telling her, I can't technically say this, but it's the difference between when the LLC has the bank account that's more protected. When it's personal, you can.
Yeah, if you get an LLC, you gotta get a business bank account anyway.
Yeah.
But having a business bank account is going to give you definitely do that.
Okay.
Yeah, and Wells Fargo might have a free bank account or a business right now. I'm not sure.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The way our Chase account works is that if we have over a certain amount of money in there, and I believe it's like $2,500 on average per month, then we don't pay the $12 fee. And if it's the average for the month falls under that, maybe it's $1,500. It doesn't matter. Then it's $12 per month.
Okay.
So, it is, but there's no minimum balance on Chase, but you don't have Chase, but I don't think there's minimum account balances on Wells Fargo either.
I think it's like 3 hours away. Like if I wanted to go to an ATM or a bank.
Yeah.
Who? Wells Fargo?
Yeah.
Oh, Chase.
No, Wells Fargo is, I think.
Should be Wells Fargo's all over there.
Yeah, Wells Fargo too. Well, I'll check Chase too online. I mean, I can set up stuff online.
Yeah, I mean, for ease of use, I think Wells Fargo is just as good as Chase from what I've heard. Yeah, and they're offering all the same cool stuff right now, like pay with Zelle and Zelle Pay and all that's going through, and yeah, and their business accounts are.
Yeah, and most of them banks now have like online things where you can like move money around, and so if you need to like send a salary to yourself or like a monthly paycheck or biweekly paycheck to yourself, you can just wire it between your bank accounts.
And by wire, don't take that word literally. The Zelle
app.
Zelle app.
Where you can send money. Sorry, you can
Yeah.
send it, not wire. Send it to yourself.
$20 fee for that wire.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, sorry.
You're good. Thanks, babe.
So let me go back to week 1. Make sure I don't have any questions. Okay, look, creating the business plan, like my paper is so pitiful. But where you ask like the current number of leads coming in per month, and I was just not even going through for this business. I was tailoring it like the weddings, but I figured like
yeah, that's fine. It's good. You can put under there W and then put the thing and then put B and then put the thing. What's really good about it is once things are coming in and so things start to work, and then you start being like, oh my gosh, why am I not getting anything? But if you have something to reference and you go back and you're like, oh wow, I've doubled. Like yeah. I need to chill out and just give it some time, because sometimes when you start going, you forget like how far you've come, and sometimes you get frustrated, and it's really good to be able to look back and see how far you've come and realize that it's okay.
Yeah, there's like how many is coming in per month, like 1 or none.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
I
I'll write it.
already purchased or got their wedding photographer, and then I haven't fully put out that I'm shooting boudoir yet. So I just put in like local mom groups to like build my portfolio, so that when I have
Mhm.
to the website building section, I'll have some images.
Mhm.
But I don't have any reviews.
Yeah. You can reach out to past clients and ask them for reviews.
Can we go into week 2, or you want to stick to week 1?
Oh no, you can go into week 2 whenever you're ready. Yeah. Oh, you mean on this call?
Yeah.
Oh.
You want to keep it?
Yeah, that's fine. I can let me answer one question for Natalie. She couldn't get on here. She was asking, she's looking at doing her name, and she shoots boudoir and glamour type portraits. So would a landing page like nataliamendozaphotography.com/boudoir, or is it actually better to have my name say boudoir in it? Do I need a bunch of different domain names for each page on my website, and is that possible? So I just wanted to talk to Natalia and say that nataliamendozaphotography.com/boudoir, if somebody had to type that in, that's really long. So that's probably way too long. So I would say go ahead and do nataliemendozaboudoir.com rather than making it that long. And then I would be curious to know how much glamour you do. I do both, if you will, in a sense. I'll do like women's headshots, or I've done a mother-daughter shoot, like more like editorial glamour shoots. But what's funny is even when I tried to offer that, it's very limited. Like there's not a ton of people that technically will actually spend the type of money that I need for my time on themselves. In that instance, I do have random people who will pay me, $1,500 for headshots. A lot of people are like, wow, I talked to somebody else and it was 100. And I'm like, yeah, I know, it's completely different. But so I would be curious to know really how much of that glamour that you're going to be doing, Natalia, and whether you should really worry about that. If you want to do some glamour, you can definitely put like 1 or 2 images in your gallery so that when people land on that, they know that you do that as well. But my suggestion would probably be to do nataliemendozaboudoir.com. And you can still keep Natalie Mendoza Photography if it already is like ranked on Google. I would just keep that and maybe have it as a portal to your boudoir, or a portal, or have glamour on there and then have a link to your boudoir, so that if anybody goes there, they can also go to your other site. So you're basically using 2 different domains. But when somebody's searching, like specifically you're sending targeted traffic to your website, and let's say they go to Google and they search for boudoir photography in whatever area you're in. And then, so in their mind, we'll just say it's, I can't remember where you are, sorry, Vegas. They say boudoir photography Vegas, then your ad's gonna pop up, and your ad should correspond with that keyword. So we'll teach you that in those keywords in week 4, but then they're going to click up, they're going to see an ad that says number 1 boudoir photography Vegas, and that in their mind it's going to like automatically connect, like subconsciously, yes, that's what I'm looking for. They're going to click on it, and then they're going to be taken to Natalie Mendoza Boudoir. And so it's just like they're searching for boudoir, they see an ad that says boudoir, exactly what they searched, and then they land on a website that says boudoir. So having all of those things just makes it a very easy process for people, and then just their brain like automatically like connects all the dots without them even having to think about it. So the more streamlined you can make the whole process for somebody looking for something, and the more they don't have to stop and go, wait, Natalie Mendoza Photography, like, does she shoot boudoir or does she not shoot boudoir? I'm looking for boudoir. Do I really want to like spend time going and looking at everything else that she has? So when it is in there, like there's no room for questions. And the more questions that you can eliminate and just go boom, 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 then the easier it is for them and the more streamlined it is. So I personally, you don't need a bunch of different domain names for each page on your website, because you're going to have a one-page website, and you're going to have a one-page website for boudoir. And if you do a lot of glamour and you really want to send targeted traffic specifically to that site, then you're going to have a domain specifically for that. So, in one page. So you're not going to need more than like 2 domains possibly, and you can use your old domain for glamour if you want to. Depending, if you're going to actually pay for targeted traffic, then you might actually want to do Natalie Mendoza Glamour. I don't know if people actually search that word that much. We'll have to just talk about it when you're here, and like talk about really how much you get work from that. Okay, so I think that question is good. Okay, what was your question, Maisha?
For the on the expense spread checklist or the cheat sheet, and the part where you have like the internet and studio space and rent and utilities. I'm shooting out of my house right now, and then internet is house's internet, and then like the utilities is the house, and the phone is my cell phone. Okay. What, like, do I not include that in there?
So for now, since you're just starting out, I would go ahead and put 0 there. When it comes to filing your taxes, once again, not a CPA, when it comes to filing your taxes, you actually do want to account for those expenses.
Okay.
And eventually, you do, but right now, so the problem is if you account for those expenses right now, you may push yourself into a price zone that you're not quite comfortable asking for yet. So technically, yes, those are business expenses. You can write off a portion of your house. You can write off a portion of your phone bill. You can write off a portion of your utilities because you are using it for business. So technically, yes, you would want to account for those. But in this case, for setting pricing, right now, it's okay to go ahead and 0 that out, in the sense of if you accounted for it and it was an extra like 600. You're looking? He's looking at me. Do you have? Okay. I was like, do you have something? Then what you're gonna do is you can get your prices to where you're confident, and you're confident in asking for them, and then you'll want to bump it up to account for that as you get more clients and you get fully booked and stuff like that. Because what I'm finding is, and I just went in and I'm making changes to week 2. I have not uploaded the new PDF yet, and unfortunately there's some changes in there and people just printed them. I'm like, but anyways, we can talk about those on the calls. It's when you're trying to figure out your pricing, before I had on there, what do you want to make? And of course, everybody wants to make as much as possible, right? And then I have you do your pricing based on that kind of goal. But a lot of people maybe they either have really high expenses, and or they want to make $5,000 a month or $10,000 a month, but they're not prepared to ask for, they can't do 12 shoots a month to make that smaller. Okay, let me see if I can think how I can say this. So let's say you need to make, or want to make, we'll go with want, to make $10,000 a month gross. If you did 12 shoots a month, you would need to bring in an average of 833 per shoot. So for some people, that's not quite possible. They only have time to do 6 shoots a month because maybe they're part-time, or maybe they have kids, or whatever that is. So if they're figuring it out the way I had it before of what you want to make ultimately, then they would need to bring in 1,666 on average per shoot. Now, depending on what your expenses are and how much that is, that would be, profit would be left over from that. So some people aren't quite to maybe the $1,600 mark yet, or comfortable putting their digitals and session fee in conjunction, making that $1,600. So let's go with, what do you need to make photography worth it to keep going as a business? Like, what is it that you need? and then work from there. And I
Okay.
think maybe you and I talked about this
Yeah.
already. Because if you can get where you need to be in order to keep going and make it worth it for you, then what's going to happen is most likely you're going to get booked up a lot faster because you're going to be super confident in the pricing and totally fine. And then what happens is when you get booked up is when you raise your prices. And then we're doing baby steps and your confidence is growing versus having to make that huge leap.
Okay.
And so, and it's true, you're not going to go from zero to, or even go from $10,000 a year to $100,000 a year. I mean, can you do it in your first year? You can, but technically, I mean, if you went from making $10,000 at photography to making 100 in 2 years, I mean, what other job can you get where you make that big of an income leap? I mean, so just being a little bit patient, and taking like baby steps. And if you decide you want to take a big step, then that's fine too. But I'm learning that I think, however I had it worded, is people are trying to do this and it's not necessarily working as well. And they're kind of like freaking out. So, yeah, so that would be the difference and that would be why I would say if you are doing it at home, and you technically are already paying for those, whether you're doing your business or you're not doing your business, then it's okay to probably take them out for right now, but eventually you want to put that portion in.
Okay. So, let me ask you one more question.
Mhm.
I use Dubsado to like send contracts, get paid, send questionnaires, and I can email through there too.
Mhm.
I got in there when they kind of first launched, so the expense is not that high, and I can like it's almost similar to
17 hats.
17 Hats, where you can kind of automate emails and without like, getting Mailchimp and stuff. So I like that because I can send like tips and stuff to girls for the weddings, and then I have to touch that until
Right.
they respond back. And I don't even know if that's working because nobody responds. But if do you think that type of system or software is worth the expense, or can I just do a spreadsheet and then email?
What's the expense? I don't know.
It is 14 a month.
14 a month is what you said?
So 168 a year.
Yeah. To be honest with you, I don't use any of those, but
So
I
how
think
your
if it
forms and stuff,
just email, like I just send them over.
and then they sign it and send it back to
Like
you.
Adobe Sign, or you can do like Adobe Sign, or if they're gonna do a contract, do it in person. I do it at the consultation, and you can do it on Adobe Sign, so you keep it digital.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but I personally, I think that if those programs are saving you any type of headache or any type of time, they're 100% worth $14 a month. Like if it's making your job easier and it's easier for the client and it's just a simple thing and where you can kind of group some things together that, because I mean, if you separate it out and you have to find like an email program, like I know MailChimp is free, but I don't necessarily feel like it's
like a certain amount of people, and
yeah.
I don't even have time to figure it out right now.
Yeah. So in general, if you already know what you're doing and you're familiar with it, $14 a month, I would keep it.
Okay.
That would be my suggestion, especially if it's already working, and that seems fairly cheap to me.
Okay. Now I didn't skip through, but I kind of just like skimmed through the modules.
Mm-hmm.
And for the website, when I'm all over the place, sorry. How many people use Squarespace? Because that's what my website is hosted on now. So I'm familiar with that interface.
Yeah. So I had Squarespace on there before, but the problem people are running into is that Squarespace makes their mobile ready automatically, and there you can't change anything. So what you see on a desktop or on a laptop is horizontal and it's bigger. So when it comes to mobile, I think they do help with the text a little bit, but the biggest thing is the orientation of the picture at the very top is completely different. It's vertical versus horizontal. And now if you can come up with an image that will work for both, then Squarespace is fine. So, I mean, that's just a little bit of the hassle. The problem is you can't do any specific edits to mobile. Where on like Wix, you can edit your desktop and then you can edit your mobile, two different, like have different things, have different pictures.
Oh, okay.
You can have one box on here, but not have it on mobile. So there's a lot more flexibility in customization when it comes to websites on Wix. I think Julie, and I can send you her website. I think she has Squarespace and she's doing fine. So I don't necessarily think you need to switch unless it becomes like an issue of you're not getting inquiries. And if you're not getting inquiries and you can't change your website to what you need it to be, but she's doing fine. And I think if it just might be a little bit harder to get the design right. Might be a little bit more time, but I think you'll be fine with it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Feel a little better. I'm gonna got some homework to do.
Yeah. Biggest homework. I think week 1's like the biggest week. It's
Yeah.
setting the foundation for your business is super, super important. And I think a lot of people avoid those things and skip them because they're so overwhelming. And it is overwhelming to have to find a CPA and listen and understand what they're trying to tell you and a lawyer and understand like all that. And a lot of times it's frustrating because, sometimes those can be expensive to actually ask for those questions. And then you're having to form a business in an LLC. So that's additional expenses. And unfortunately, like people will skip over it and then forget about it. And that can be a very costly mistake. And not only that, but having an LLC is actually very advantageous for you when it comes to tax season. So when we had that call with Paul on keeping your profits in your pockets is good. So, so I stress that it's a hard week because it takes a lot of time and it's like uncomfortable, but it's definitely good.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna make some more calls before I go. I had to cancel my shoot today because it's raining and it's super dark in here.
Mm.
So I mean, it worked out. I was able to,
Yeah.
one.
Perfect. Because nobody else joined. I don't know where they're at. Asha and Natalie had texted me and said she wasn't gonna be able to make it, but Asha and I can't think. Oh, Ronnie we're supposed to be on. But anyways, I'll record all of these so they can go back and watch it. So perfect.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good day. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.